There are hunters who capture the witches and also toss the capture them and determine whether they are people or witches. In this instance, the witch first appears to the person whom some witch hunters had bound. Two females were also watching them from a distance. One of the witch hunters lights the witch on fire in the interim, and that witch was telling the other witch to flee as she was burning. The two girls were the witch's daughters, and the scene then shifts to a school. The school board said that witchcraft is not allowed here. The movie's main character Claire is then displayed, who is making fun of a girl who is seated with her companions. They were making fun of the girl because she was a witch, but since she had never practiced the craft, the witch was learning from them. When Claire's school day ended, she was boarding a bus and making her way to her residence. She notices a mall being constructed while she is walking to her house. Claire had now arrived at the residence. She was completing a school assignment about the witch. She uses the internet to look up information on the witch, and then Claire's cabinet produces an echoing sound. When she turns around to verify this, a female standing behind her appears out of nowhere. "I'm told by that chick that I'm a witch. I've been residing within the walls of your home for a while." Claire informs her to enter the walls once again. However, the witch there casts charms on a glass butterfly. The butterfly then starts to fly, and the witch again breaks through the wall. While leaving, Claire informs her mother in detail about this. "After today, it won't happen again," says her mother. She argues that he is coming to take her since she uses a man's name. It is made known that Claire used to despise witches, although Claire's mother was a witch. Because witches could practice their craft over the border, she used to assist them in crossing. A man named Jacob pays a visit to Claire's home, and he has a large box that he used to get a water bottle. He forces the witch to sit in the box before departing. In the middle of the night, when that man was transporting the witch across the border, a police cruiser stopped him. A witchfinder emerges from the vehicle and demands that the driver exits his vehicle. The witchfinder examines his vehicle in the interim and sees a large package in his vehicle which the same witch had previously shut. "Can I tick this box?" the witch hunter asks. "Do you still have any objections?" Though he responds, "Yes, I object that I own this box and nobody is allowed to handle my goods without my consent." The witch hunter pulls a compass out and strikes that man hard. The police take him into custody and the witch hunter then sprinkles petrol on him and sets his automobile on fire. Thus, the witch in the box had likewise come to an end. After that, a different woman returned to Claire's home who had brought witches in a large box with her. She left the box behind and left. That box released two witches. These two witches were the identical ones that were shown at the start of the film. When Claire was working at night, she saw the same butterfly. That witch's spell for the butterfly comes true, and the butterfly starts to fly once more. It suggests that even after the witch's death, her witchcraft continued to have an impact on the world. Claire has nightmares as she sleeps at night. She had nightmares about the witch that the witch hunter had burned to death. She was so terrified that she got up as a result of her fear. Claire detects a presence in one of her home's corners. She quickly recognizes the voice there as being someone addressing her by her name, Claire. In the meantime, Claire discovers the witch's daughter inexplicably lying on the ground, and she starts to cry out of terror. She hears her older sister yelling and moves closer and reveals to Claire that her sister suffers from the sleepwalking illness. She takes her sister with her after requesting an apology from her younger sister. When everyone is eating breakfast in the morning, those witches' daughters inquire as to the arrival time of the man who will be picking us up. He used to frequently transport the witches across the border. Claire's mother then exclaims, "He had to come here till now." She checks him over outside before showing her sisters the path that leads into the structures that were erected inside the walls of their homes. In actuality, the home was covered in these walls, and this place used to be home to the witch who was later burned by the witch hunter. The witch's younger daughter was playing. A hand with a hideous appearance approached her. She yells out loud. Hearing her yelling, Claire and her mother were terrified. The witch's younger sister suddenly emerges through the wall using her powers. The very next day, Claire observes a bus in front of her school. It had been occupied by several witches, and the witch who used to read in Claire's class has now also been detained by the police. The witch was attempting to flee from the authorities. However, a police officer opened fire on the witch through this, instantly killing her. With everything, Claire had grown concerned, and in the evening, everyone in the family was sitting in Claire's home. Then Claire's neighbor, who was telling Claire's mother that there was a house nearby that kept witches within, hiding from humans, arrives at their home. The witches are assisted in crossing the border. In the course of reading an article on witches at night, Claire learns about a brand new law. It said that whether or not witches wanted to practice their profession, they would still be put to death. In the evenings, Claire had also begun to experience the symptoms of the sleepwalking disorder. While asleep, she caught a glimpse of the three witches. Claire started to cry a lot while sitting and became quite frightened. The following day, Jacob did not arrive to collect those witches either. Claire's mom visits a different partner at the same time. When she arrives, she learns that Jacob has been taken into custody by the police. Following that, the cinema's exterior is seen when a man at the ticket counter prohibits her from giving her a ticket, and there was also Claire, who had had an asthma attack. She is about to pull out her inhaler when she notices a break in the mirror of the ticket desk. Those who were still standing there were thinking, "This girl is a witch." The girl then fled from there in terror, and Claire had also recovered from her asthma episode. For a brief period, it appeared as though Claire was the cause of all events. Claire discusses the bar with the witch's older daughter at home. She had never previously seen a bar. She had been escorted to the bar by Claire. The witch then carried out her witchcraft there, and she hurled the water upward. "Claire, do you also wish to do such a miracle?" she then asks. The light vanished when Claire was focused. She had a hand from that witch on her. When the light was turned on, everyone was staring at them. Both of them now realize that the chairs around them are attached to the ceiling. Then the two go from here. While Claire slept through the night, the older sister of the same witch approaches her, and she is sobbing at the time. "How will I control my spell?" she asks. The following day, a witch hunter visited Claire's residence. He informs Claire's mother that witchcraft was practiced at the pub the previous evening. He pulls out the compass that he used to locate the witches. However, he discovers nothing at Claire's home. Claire's mother then requests that he leave the area. The following day, a witch trial was taking place at Claire's school, and it would allow them to determine whether a witch was present among them or not. The test is then passed by Claire, proving that she is not a witch. Claire has nighttime fantasies in which she is at the border, similar to the border where the witches were sent. She scales the border wall where the identical witch who had resided in her home is located, and the mothers of both witches are beckoning her. While in actuality, Claire was perched on the roof of her home. Claire's mother had also come over, trying to rouse her. However, Claire stumbles. Despite falling from a distance, she did not suffer any injuries. The witch's older sister was said to have saved Claire, but their neighbor had seen this happen. Claire and her companions were watching the witch test the following day. With the chair there, females had been restrained. They were eventually removed from the water. If there was even one witch among them, she would have used her magic to rescue herself, but no one does. It implies that they were all human beings and not witches, although one girl died as a result of this test. Claire was sick to her stomach after viewing this. When she gets back home, she finds out from the daughters of the same witch that the witch hunter had taken their mother and brother away for an inquiry but had later come back. He claims that his mission is to find and hunt out witches. The two daughters of that witch might hear this dialogue from those walls. "He is the one who hunted our mother," her younger sister said. Her older sister stopped her from raising her hand. However, the witch hunter had begun to question them after hearing their voices. He aimed his rifle towards Claire while pulling it out. "Claire, you're a witch." "You do not have any proof of this," claims Claire. "How dare you call me a witch?" A door opens, and he knows that someone has fled, and this draws the witch hunter's focus elsewhere. Claire's mother takes advantage of this and leaves with her children. "The witch I just saw was near the stairs," the witch hunter said as he took Claire to her chamber. Claire doesn't give him any kind of response, and the witch hunter then approaches the cabinet with his compass in hand. The needle of his compass then starts to move quickly. This witch hunter is choked by the mother of both witches, who has been burned to death by him at the beginning of the film. It is made clear that the hand this witch's younger daughter saw behind the wall belonged to her mother. Running in that direction was Claire, which was constructed behind the fortifications. She attempts to open the door, but it is locked. The smoke from the fire was now choking the two daughters of the witch who were hiding behind the wall. The daughters of that witch implore her to go outside, but she refuses. She is now aggressively causing fractures in the walls, and we all now know that Claire was a witch as well. That entire house was then destroyed and, after being burned in this fire, that witch hunter was also murdered. Similar to how the witch hunter burned the witch at the beginning of the film. Then to another who was being transported by Jacob across the border. Claire's mother takes everything away and forces everyone into the car. She was being explained to Claire's mother. She reveals that your father possessed magical abilities. You are also affected by that impact. I had no idea you were skilled in witchcraft. You must depart from this location because the populace will kill you and accuse you of being a witch. For you, this city is not safe. Come with me, Claire tells her mother as she clings to her and sobs. However, her mother claims that only a witch could scale that barrier. Then Claire approached that wall, grabbing both of those witches' daughters. Thanks for watching and click on another movie recap displayed on the screen.